Oh my God. KahnawakeTV Kahsennenhawe Sky-Deer Yajats. Today we're going to be doing another Kahnawake 911. We did one last Saturday, and we felt that, as updates arise, that it would be important to do them and inform the community of how things are ongoing, I guess, with the industrial fuel spill. So today's presenters is going to be myself, Mark Horne from EHS. We'll have Green-Stacey from KIPO. We'll have our Commissioner of Public Safety Lloyd Phillips, and then Dave Lahash will wrap up as our coordinator. So lots of updates today, and I know Chief Montour was on the radio today as well, updating the community. So every Thursday, we've been having now our crisis response team working groups been meeting and, updating each other, keeping everybody abreast of everything that's ongoing. And yesterday I got some news that a technical meeting took place between Chattagee and the people in the community, like our team, and that things, I guess, didn't go very well at the forefront. And obviously it was alarming to me because, my communication with the mayor's office is that we have to be working in collaboration together. We have to keep lines of communication open. And so I know that some of the members of the CRT yesterday were pretty upset and saying that, there needed to be some more intervention because they were feeling that nothing was happening really on Chattagee's side in terms of a remediation. So I had asked, well, what is the expectation? Well, it could be that they could dredge, they can send in the truck to start removing some water from some of the ditches and some of the fuel that's on top. So basically anything at this point would show, because I think there was a push for removal of our dam, which at this point we don't think is necessary. Everything that's circulating around some of this pressure is with the impending inclement weather this weekend, which we're monitoring. It doesn't look like it's going to be that bad. Maybe 10 millimeters on Saturday, potentially about the same on Sunday. But of course, you never know with weather, right? It's unpredictable. So we'll definitely keep our eyes on what's going to unravel this weekend. But we're going to be prepared, and I think that's what was imperative. So I texted the Minister Lafreniere yesterday, basically expressing, the concern of the technical meeting that took place. So this morning at 7:30, myself, Minister Lafreniere, as well as Minister Charest, who is the Environment Minister on behalf of Quebec, had a conference call, and I basically expressed what was our concerns, maybe even some expectations moving forward of how we think that they can start doing more remediation measures on the Chattagee side of things. So my understanding is a meeting ended up taking place at 9:30 this morning, again between the technical teams, and the, I guess, attitudes had changed, and there was more of a willingness to see what can be done. You might be aware that I was in the city this morning at a conference, and then the mayor of Chattagee let me know that there was going to be a walkthrough happening in Chattagee on their side of the boundary, as well as walking over to the dam, just to see how everything is flowing right now with the water, how things are contained, and how the measures are currently working, and what we need to be cognizant of if in fact the weather does go in the wrong direction for us, I'll say, as we're monitoring this. And we felt that more tests needed to be done. They did deploy a testing truck to be on site. There was the tanker truck, I guess, that is there to skim and remove some water from their ditches. And we also walked over to our dam to see how it's holding up, and how, if they wanted there to be, I guess, a reduction maybe in some of the sandbags that are there, or how we could reinforce it to have minimal impacts, because they're just worried about the industrial area flooding, potential residence area flooding in Chattagee as a result of the dam. And I think, given all of the experts that we've consulted, that wouldn't be the case with the rain that is expected. So the political meetings went very well. The walkthrough today, in my opinion, is basically for Quebec's Environment Ministry to come up with a plan of what their next steps are going to be, and we'll probably learn about that in the next little while, hopefully by 5 p.m. today. But I don't necessarily expect any other significant, how will I say, deployment of next steps and actions on their part. But that's what we're pushing for, that they're going to do the remediation on their side, which will have less of an impact in our community. So that's pretty much that update for now, and I'll call in our next presenter, which will be Mark Horne. Kahnawà.
Great. Some positive development on EHS's side this morning. We were able to obtain the services of a outdoor air quality monitoring unit. We have what's called a KahnawakeTV mobile lab. It was in the area today. They were taking surveillance air quality on Zachary Road. Another positive development was we were able to also, they installed air quality monitoring units in Kahnawà school, both inside and outside. So that's going to be an ongoing thing for the next week or so, because it was a concern from the parents. Results for water quality monitoring. We have 19 hydrocarbon samples that were taken. 13 are negative as of now, and there's still 6 that we're waiting for results. In terms of surveillance, after hours, there's 24-hour surveillance that's going to happen this weekend. People have been trained, and they will follow up with that. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Yeah, today was a very busy day. Lots of updates. First and foremost, the walkthroughs that were done on the Chattagee side, I think was a good opportunity to actually bring all 4 jurisdictions at this point that are involved in trying to remediate the site together face to face for the first time. We were able to express all of our shared concerns and priorities in a clear way, and being able to physically point to exactly where our concerns are and how we would like to have them addressed, speak to how we would like to have them addressed, was a really good opportunity. So I think that where there has been some tension to this point, we're optimistic now that some of those roadblocks can be worked through, and that remediation action can proceed in a relatively quick manner now. One of the concerns that was instigating this conversation was around the weather that's forecasted for this weekend. At one point, it was forecasted that up to 40 millimeters of rain was going to fall, combination of snow and rain, and that would have had a pretty significant impact on the amount of flow that we're seeing through the area. Since then, that forecast has been revised. We're looking at reduced precipitation, and so a lot of those concerns are no longer as pressing. So overall, very positive development. Weather's on our side. Following up from a lot of the community meetings that we've had over the last week or so, we've received a lot of really good feedback from community. It's been a really positive mechanism to facilitate the flow of information, not just information out, but receiving information in. And that two-way dialogue is very important. The parents of Kahnawà School were able to identify a number of spots that they felt are not being sampled and tested enough, and so we've increased the amount of testing that we're doing for soil, for water, for air, as was mentioned earlier. Some of the soil testing that we did in the play yard has come back, and those soil samples are in the A and AB range. So that's going to be really good information that's going to help inform any sort of public safety, public health measures moving forward. So that's again a really positive update. One of the questions that came up a lot during the community meetings was whether or not there are other hydrocarbons that are being detected in the water samples that we're doing up and down the Suzanne River. And at this point, I can report that we're not seeing any additional or any new hydrocarbons. They're all the same Class 2 diesel that we've been seeing to this point. There's a lot of information that we're going to be making available in the course of a series of information sheets that are going to be posted on the KahnawakeResponse.com website. These updates are going to explain exactly what a diesel spill is, what kind of risks that poses to the environment, where exactly these impacts are being felt and where we're monitoring. It's going to clearly show the entire Suzanne River watershed, and also explain what an underflow dam is. And we're going to put up all the diagrams and schematics that we have, as well as the pictures of the actual site, so people will be able to get a better understanding of what it is that we're dealing with and how we're dealing with it. So with that update, I'm going to turn it now to David Lahash.
Not David. Hi. Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much, Ben and Mark. As you can see, things are progressing. There is a lot of work that is being done on a day-to-day basis. That's why we want to provide this update today, because everything we're doing to date is proving to be successful. The testings that are taken both for air quality and water quality are coming back with good news, with no traces of contaminants. Soils, as Ben mentioned, or AB quality that is in the school area. And this, so people know, AB quality is the standard in which we use for landfill within the community. That's the only soil that we allow to be used in the territory. So again, that is a positive development to know that that soil is not contaminated and that it is safe in that general vicinity. But it is an ongoing assessment. We're monitoring. A lot of work has been done. A lot of work will continue throughout the weekend and over the next days and weeks, as long as it takes for us to ensure that the health and safety of our community is ensured. And obviously the environment is also extremely important to ensure that our environment is taken care of in the best possible way. As was mentioned, there were several meetings that took place this week with the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Environment Quebec, Environment Canada, as well as representatives from Chateauguay, and obviously our side in terms of health, safety, environment, and also some of our expertise. So it is truly an all hands on deck type approach. We're making headway. We do have now a commitment from the Ministry of Quebec that they will be taking immediate actions to mitigate the area that's in Chateauguay. We have a commitment. We witnessed some very beginnings of that work being done, and they have a plan over the next days into the next week. And we are going to make sure that commitment holds true. We're going to be on site. We're going to be monitoring and making sure that the work that needs to get done does get done. Because there was one round of fuel, so to speak, that came into the territory, has at this point seemed to have been stopped and mitigated, and the area of contamination remains in the Chateauguay area, and we certainly don't want to have a round two, so to speak. So we're going to make sure that the measures they're taking there, although it is within Chateauguay, it has direct impact on our territory. So we're going to make sure that everything is done properly. So as I mentioned, the weather is always a wild card. We're watching that very closely. It is again a situation that is very fluid. So we're putting out as much information as we can, but sometimes information may change in a matter of a course of hours. So that's why we're setting up the web page, as well as we'll use Kahnawake 911 as a Facebook message if need be, other Facebook lives as need be. Also, we will be ensuring that both public safety, KIPO, and environmental health, and the whole crisis response team is adequately resourced to be able to respond. So there is a package and a resolution or a directive that's being presented to Council on Monday, so that we could secure all the necessary funds available to be able to properly respond purchase whatever urgent equipment may be required to ensure, again, the health and safety and environment of our community is protected. With their support, the community support, working together collaboratively, we will make sure that we achieve our goals of protecting our community and protecting our environment. With that, Onigiwahi, now here is Dave Lash.
Nyawa Lloyd. David Lahash, coordinator for the crisis response team. Just a reminder that if you heard Mark earlier, he mentioned that we have monitoring 24/7. We also have support for those who have been identified in the area of risk. So those homeowners, after hours, if you have any concerns, please call the Kahnawake Peacekeepers at 450-632-6505, and they will be able to get in touch with the on-call worker. Regular residents, if you have any concerns as well, we mentioned the website before, so please feel free to visit the website. The FAQs are up, and that's KahnawakeResponse.com. And if you have any other questions, you want to reach out via email, you can always do that at questions@mck.ca. Also, during regular business hours, you can always contact the Public Safety Division, at 632-0635. So once again, those in the risk area, you can call the peacekeepers after hours, and we will get in touch with you as soon as possible, and we do have the expertise available. Thank you very much for joining us here today, and when we have more news and more updates, we'll be live again on Facebook. Have a great evening. Be safe this weekend. Onigiwahi.